Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back. I can't really express to you how long I've been waiting to be able to find Eliza McFee from the Shadow High costume ball line. I think I said in literally my last video, my review of Demi Batista, that she was my favorite from this line and I was so excited to get her. And this literally has been such a long road to get through. Sorry if this is really boring, but I just have to share this. When she first came out, was available for pre-order on Walmart, and in my head I'm like, okay, the pre-order isn't gonna get here until October 16th, I think was the first date that it told me it could get to my area. And now I should have bought it pre-order because I would have gotten it earlier. But in my head I was like, okay, Walmart puts stuff out early all the time. I'm gonna be able to find it in person sooner, so I'm just not gonna worry about it. Could not find it in person for forever. The doll sold out from pre-order online. It popped up a couple more times for pre-order, but I just kept telling myself, okay, well, it's probably going to be in store sooner, right? So I'm just going to keep waiting and trying to find her in store. And then it got to the point where she sold out online and I'm freaking out because I still can't find her in store. And I wanted this doll so badly. I love fairies. I talk a lot on this channel about how much I love mermaids and also fairies. The channel name is literally Fairy Tale Dolls. I love fairies. So I had to get Eliza. There was no way I could not manage to find this doll, and I was getting very nervous. But long story short, I finally found her clearly in my local Walmart, and I just feel so relieved and so grateful and so excited. So this is the front of her box, and then the back is the same as Demi's, where it just shows the 3 Shadow High dolls you can get from the costume ball line. And then when we open her up, we've got the little blurb about her and the doll herself. And I'm sorry, I know I should be filming this and letting you guys see her, but I'm just really excited, so I have to look at her for a second because I literally cannot believe I finally found her after all of this waiting, all of this anxiety. I hope that kind of gives you an idea about how excited I am. With that being said, I have to unbox her. I have to get her out of the box because I just have to see all that she comes with and the quality and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera really quick, and then I will be right back with you guys to talk more in depth about Eliza. See you in a second. Okay, we've got Eliza all unboxed here. Just like with Demi, there's not a whole lot to talk about. She is in her stand and the matching comb, and then another Shadow High imitation, this one more suited to her colors. Speaking of colors, I do want to say I feel like on camera she looks quite gray. She is pretty silvery, pretty white, but a little bit more of the blue tint than I think you're getting on camera. But back to the imitation, QR code on the back. And again, at least as of time of filming, this still is just going to the Rainbow High website. So I don't know if that's ever going to change. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah, that's a thing. Talking about Eliza, the first thing I have to talk about is her wings, because I have those taken off of her right now, and also, she's a fairy. This is the very exciting part, right? They are really, really beautiful. I mean, you can see the colors alone are just magnificent. Even the shadow that they're casting on my hand is so beautiful. I actually really like the way that they are designed with the Velcro here for the straps, so that you can kind of more easily get it on her. I think I would be more afraid of breaking the thin plastic if it was something where I had to kind of stretch it over her arms to get it on her, like a shirt or something. So I do like the Velcro aspect of that. However, there's a reason they're not on her body. And that reason is because it's pretty much impossible to have her in the Rainbow High stand and have these on her, just because of the way that they're cut. So the stand hits the waist, right? And you can see just from me holding them up, that means that the stand is going to have to clasp right around here. But there's no room within the design of these wings for that to happen. So I'm very grateful that I have these little saddle stands, because I'm probably going to have to use that to actually display her so that it doesn't interfere with the placement of the wings. Because I bought Eliza, the fairy doll, to be able to have the wings on her, right? That is a very common problem that on Instagram I have been seeing people complain about the wings and not being able to use the stand. In general, whenever I know that I'm planning on buying a doll, I do try to avoid watching reviews or learning too much about them so that I can give you my kind of unedited opinion. But that was unavoidable because so many people were having a problem with it. So it's a very well-known problem, a little bit unfortunate. Like I said, am lucky enough to have stands that will work anyway, but not everyone has those, so that's definitely something to consider when buying this doll, is that probably if you want to display her in the wings, you might have to cut a bigger slit in the wing and edit the wing itself, or buy a stand. So there's that. Beautiful design, but the application doesn't work quite as well as you might want it to. But talking about the actual doll, she is so beautiful. I'm a maximalist. I think I've said that before on this channel. I like to have a lot of design happening. I like a lot of colors and I like a lot of things. Like, I am not good with minimalist designs. I just don't do well with them. I think that they're more boring. I like to be extremely excited when I see a design, and I feel like her makeup is really doing that for me. She's got like rainbow highlight, crazy graphic eyeliner and so many colors and glitter, and her lips are this beautiful two-tone with the blue and the purple. It's everything I could possibly want for a makeup. It is just so beautiful and over the top and so full of colors and shapes, and I love it. Like, I was gonna buy this doll anyway for the simple fact that she is a fairy, but this makeup, like, she is such a beautiful doll. So I'm very, very happy about like the whole design overall for her. She's got these awesome earrings that do go in just like a regular earring. I can't pull it out right now. Oh, I can. Awesome. I got it. I am still having trouble with my hands. So I'm trying to work through that. But yeah, they pull out just like a regular earring, but they're kind of like the faux elf ears. And I love that for her. I think it's such a cool design, such a nice detail for the fairy costume. The hair, I will say, is like a little bit lackluster to me, both in color. Like, I would have liked to have seen a mix of color, whereas this is pretty much just straight white. Okay, that comment about her hair only being white, completely untrue. It did look that way for me under like the ring light in the room that I film in, but once I took her out of that room to wash her hair, it was definitely streaked through with light blue. So at any point, if you hear me say that again, just disregard that. Future me does know better. But mostly in the styling, I think the box art, like I have the box here, we can zoom in there, has more of like a detailed braiding happening up at the top. And while it is technically executed on the doll, I don't know if it's the scale that is kind of working it out to be less exciting, or if it is the fact that the hair is pretty monochromatic. Like, there's a little bit of difference in there, but it's pretty monochromatic. I don't know if the color is causing it to look less exciting, but overall, I don't think that the hairstyle looks that exciting. And when I think fairies and elves, one of the first things that comes to mind is really dramatic and fun hairstyles. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. I am just going to restyle her and try to do something super fun with that. That's not a heavy critique. Like, I am definitely nitpicking when I say that. I don't know. I have opinions. Rooting wise, let's see how she's doing. Huh. It's not terrible. I think it's interesting because looking at her scalp, it looks thinner, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I can see a decent amount of scalp, but holding the hair, I feel like there's so much hair, and you definitely, I mean, aside from the fact that it was parted in the box, so it's kind of naturally parting here, but I feel like once I wash it, her scalp isn't going to show through at all, so I really have no complaints when it comes to the rooting. Moving down to the body, you can see that shine. I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. I know that the original wave of Rainbow High dolls has been heavily critiqued for their extremely highlighted faces and how aggressively shiny they were. Very reminiscent of Eliza's body here, and I like it. Just because anything that's shiny or glittery, I immediately am drawn to. Even if realistically it's not the best design element, I like it. So the fact that her whole body is super shimmery, I'm absolutely obsessed with. I think it's so cool. I think it really fits into the ethereal vibe, giving her much more like otherworldly fairy. Oh my god. I'm so into it. I love it. She has got some little pink nails and also some rings. They're definitely doing a lot more with the hand molding and hand details lately, which I think is cool. And then this dress. Okay. Oh my god. Top is like fine. It's not my favorite. I am in love though with all of the flower appliques all over here. They do have little like studs in the middle, and they are all like separate 3D pieces, which I just think is a beautiful, beautiful detail. There's a lot of different fabrics going on from the top here to the mesh, like so many layers. She's got this cage skirt, like a hoop skirt type situation with little bows on it, which somehow, despite looking at the stock photo like 1,002 times, I never saw this in the stock photo. I think I'm blind when it comes to stock photos, but that's a really, really beautiful detail that I wasn't expecting and was extremely pleasantly surprised by. I think it looks so cute. The only thing in the stock photos, wasn't a huge fan of this writing on her dress. Funnily enough, when I actually bought her, I didn't think that it was as jarring or as bad until my husband looked up what it meant. And it does say, according to the wiki page, Shadow High School in French. And I was so excited that I felt like this doll didn't really have a ton of branding on her. And then I heard that, and I'm just like irate about it. That being said, I don't speak French. And also, the way that her skirt lays, you don't usually see like the whole word. So it's not terrible to me, but I do think like it was a very unnecessary detail. I feel like I keep saying that I love this doll and that I keep pointing out things that I don't like. And I promise I really do love this doll. I just think that when I like things, I tend to critique them a little bit heavier than when I don't love things. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but that's how I am. I am curious because I haven't tried yet. I'm having a hard time getting her hair unstuck from the bows on the bottom just because the bottom of her hair is so curled and so gelled. What just happened? Okay, her head did not want to move for a second. I want to know if this is all one piece. So it looks like maybe the hoop skirt. I'm nervous about this because it does pull apart a little bit there. So I think that's so that you could take that off. But the dress itself, you can see, does all Velcro in one piece. So, sorry, I have to like take it off camera to get it back together for now. So yeah, it is all technically one piece. The hoop skirt is not like connected as far as I can tell. So the dress is one piece. This little like cage skirt is a separate piece. And then lastly, we come down to her shoes, which I gotta be honest, this is my least favorite part of the doll. I just think that compared to the rest of her, like this is so breathtaking and light in design and just so airy and very fairy. And then this looks like a cheap shoe that I would get in the kids section at Walmart. Like, this looks like dress shoes for, like, a 3-year-old. I'm very distressed by them. Like, they threw on the glitter, which normally gets me, but I think that the bows are just so poorly executed and so ugly, to be honest. Like, I just don't think that they're cute at all. I'm definitely going to try to find some different shoes for her to really complete the look. I don't know, like they don't have any special sculpting or anything that makes me think Faery. They just look really ugly. But if you keep her like this, very, very cute. So that's finally everything for Eliza. Definitely favorite things are the makeup, astounding, and then the like appearance of the wings, taking away the functionality of the wings. I mean, these are beautiful. I feel like there's no denying that. Like, that's just amazing. However, they are also my least favorite thing in the sense of functionality. And like I just said, the shoes are probably my other least favorite thing. All of that being said, though, I know that I complained a lot. Sorry, I didn't mean for this to be a complainy video. I really do think that this doll is stunning. I think that she's one that, for me personally, is going to need a bit of TLC to get to her prime point. But I think that once I can get her new shoes and redo her hair and have her in my own display stand, like I think once I fix her up, she's going to be one of my favorite dolls in my collection. So, like, I feel like that says a lot. And I feel like even though there are a lot of things that I pointed out as not as great, that is a pretty impressive thing to be able to say during a review. So those are all of my thoughts on Eliza. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments on her. If you enjoyed the video, if you could give it a like, that would be rad. And if you did enjoy and aren't subscribed yet, I try to make entertaining content every Monday and Thursday, so you should definitely subscribe to see more from me. But I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.